So the program. Now this is where the real schizophrenic is going to be exposed, okay? Because they say that you're schizophrenic if you believe that somebody's out to get you. So this is my theory, okay? We have been living in a sort of like a stage play, like we've been living in a movie for ever since Hollywood started, which has been about 120 years or so. So let's say we've all for more than 100 years, people have been given roles, not just the actors on the screen, but people in real life too, have been given roles based on our data, right? The things that we buy, the things that we need, the things that we want, our hopes and dreams, and our age group and our demographics. All of this data and all of this information is used to construct these characters for us, and these roles and these identities for us. And these identities and these roles are played out in the commercial, in commerce, you know, in the commercial life. So some of the roles are encouraged, you know, I mean, so let's say like the director is the programmer, right? And the director, I call the Wizard of Oz. That's the main director, and the main director are the billionaires, right? Because all of the roles and things that they assign to you are going to serve their purposes. It's not to serve your own purposes, but it serves your own purposes in the sense that it gives you some more ego forces because you're being acknowledged as this role or that role. So so these identities are constructed and fabricated for commercial reasons and to support the commercial enterprises of the big corporations, and they always have been. Well, some people in the movie, everybody can't be on top, right? You know, just like Prince said, pop life, everybody needs a thrill. We all have a space to feel. Everybody can't be on top. So some people are at the bottom, and the people that are at the bottom in the commercial stage play or movie are the people who tell the truth. They're at the bottom. And the people who love their country, they're also at the bottom. The conservative people, right now. Now this is a flip-flop from before, because our society has degenerated to the point where people who are patriotic about their country and who love their country are now at the bottom, whereas all this patriotism was really heavily encouraged back in the 50s. So now so we have these different levels, and because we're living our lives through technology very strictly, you know, we have a social rating score, right? We have a social rating position based on our social score. So our role is rated as such. So the motivation for harming each other can become kind of clear when you know that if you harm me, for example, that your social rating is going to go up and your points are going to go up. It's going to give you a better position in the film, or you're going to get a better role in the film. Then you might do it. You know, if you're convinced strongly enough that is the case and that is good for you to do. And this is exactly what happened. This is exactly what happened. 10 years ago, my role in the movie was far more prestigious. It was far more, you know, interesting and lofty, and people were curious about me and what I was because I'm the anomaly. And everybody was from all over the world, was, you know, delighted just to feel my excitement and be near me, as far as like, you know, what are we going to do? Because I live for the people. I exist specifically for the people. I don't exist for the corporations. I don't exist for corporate interests. And I've always been like that, a freedom fighter, you know, for the people. So my because of the victimization that I've gone through, and I will call it victimization, not that I'm whining or trying to, you know, identify myself as a victim. I did, you know, realize that I was overdoing that. And so I don't even want to use that word too many times, but let's just say that in the last 10 years, I've been brutalized. I've been absolutely brutalized by the people around me, to the point where my role in the movie now is that of sort of like a vagabond, you know, like the lowest person, like the worst kind of outcasted, shunned individual. And I even got the diagnosis to go with it, paranoid schizophrenia. You know, that's like, oh no, that's so scary. That's like the worst, you know. That's like the worst thing ever. So people get points, and people get, you know, like I heard a young lady on the radio one time, because every time I turn on the radio, they start shouting at me, and like the programmers are very overt with their abuse of me. And one time I turned on the radio, and it was late at night, because those radio programmers are a little more mellow if it's in the middle of the night, but this one wasn't. And she was a young black girl too, I remember. And I turned on the radio, and I tried to relax and like lay down, and she was like, and she just started getting obnoxious. And then she was like, and for all you women out there, make sure you get your respect. And so, but she was directly saying that she had to disturb me in order to get respect. So I'm just trying to illustrate and demonstrate why anybody would do this to me. Like, you know, what would be the reason? What is the motivation? And basically, the motivation is to get promoted in the film and to impress the director, because the director is the one who decides if you live for another season, or if your character gets sick, or, you know, if you get married, or if wonderful things happen to you. You know, the director is God in this world. The Wizard of Oz, the wizards, and the warlocks, and the ones who are behind the curtain committing heinous crimes against humanity, by the way, human sacrifices and all kinds of heinous things that they do, nasty stuff that they do. They have gathered up all the authority and the power because people are in love with their system. People believe in the system. People are attached to their false identity that they've been issued since birth, and their people are fighting identity wars that don't really apply to God's world at all. Don't really apply to our truth at all, to our true identity as spiritual beings at all. These roles are, you know, exalting some people and putting some people down, creating all kind of division, inequality, all kind of prejudices and discriminations, and all kinds of fears and all kinds of hopes that are unrealistic, and all of it is false. It's all just based around the false narrative. And my daily life is about exposing how false it all is. And so I have the lowest place of all. As you can see, I don't get any comments. I don't get likes. I don't get, you know, very many views or anything. And I've made some videos where I actually put my back into it a little bit, you know, but I just don't get the same attention. I've seen people on Facebook who just strictly repost other people's stuff, and they have hundreds and hundreds of views and hundreds of likes and comments and everything. And I've been on Facebook for a long time, but I don't have any such thing. You know, if anybody makes a comment or a like or something for me, then I really acknowledge that person. I appreciate them so much. But that's because my position is low, and so but I'm gonna tell you one goddamn thing right the fuck now. It's artificially low. I'm gonna tell you that shit right now, okay? Because my position is really the highest position, actually, but it's being kept artificially low. That's why they don't let me sleep, and that's why I get tortured all the time, because it helps me to keep myself low. But today I decided that, okay, so I'm going through all this again, but the best thing I can do is just acknowledge God's love and acknowledge the truth of my identity, that I am transcendent of these circumstances, and these circumstances will not define me, and these circumstances will also not drive me to self-harm. Because when I have days like this, I usually just get drunk, you know, or high or something, or eat junk food. And like I explained on a video yesterday, those things really bring me down. And that's part of the reason that I got tortured last night, was because I wasn't self-harming. And like they're like, okay, well, if you're not going to self-harm, then we'll just harm you, you know. So that happened. But I don't want to self-harm. I don't want to. So I'm just gonna try to hold out for as long as I can and not self-harm, and just you know, hang in there is what the woman said to me on the phone. Hang in there. She told me to hang in there, because I mean, this problem that I'm having is not my problem. It's really the world's problem. It's a civil war is what it is. That's why I don't even mind talking about it openly here. And hopefully people can get in touch with their heart and get in touch with the truth and reality. I'm a very good person. I'm a loving, caring, kind, generous, on and on and on, God-loving person. And for anybody to harass me or assault me, there's no justification for that. You know, there is no justification for that. I don't care how much you hate what I'm doing or who I am. Whatever I'm doing and whatever I'm saying and whoever I am is coming from God. It's godly. I don't work for the devil. I don't work for the corporations. So there is no justification in harassing me at all.